Interior, complete leather. The Alcantara. No heated rear seats, no soft close. Folding seats negative. And the SMG. It's weekend time, and the day didn't start off that well. I came out here to the garage, started up the 540, put it in reverse, solid beep, flashing light for PDC. Why? It worked fine last night. I reversed out of the shop, I drove home. I usually hit the button on the way in the garage just because I have the technology and I can pull in the garage and get notified if I'm close to anything I don't see, and everything worked fine. It sits in here overnight. We've never had any mice in the garage before, as far as I know. And then it doesn't work the next morning. So you can't buy the original factory genuine BMW Sterling PDC sensors anymore. So what I did was go to eBay, and they're Chinese aftermarkets, they're cheap. I've had to replace a couple in the back already in less than 2 years, but I figured, okay, one of them has failed, and that's why I'm getting the fault code. So drive up to the shop, plug in the scanner, it says front right sensor. Put my ear down to each sensor with the system on. A good sensor kind of makes a faint clicking sound if you get right up close to it, and the front right was silent. So I have spares. I have a spare front and a spare rear, both in Sterling at the shop. So I put one of those in, no difference. I put the other one in, no difference. I swapped with a known good sensor from the front that was clicking and working and did not have a code, no difference. So then I'm thinking, shit, it's a wiring problem or possibly a module fault. So I start chasing continuity between the blue harness in the trunk and the sensors out front. Each sensor has 3 wires. 3 times 4 is 12. That means we have 12 different wires. I have nice continuity on 11 of the 12 wires. So one of them on the front right sensor that wasn't working is problematic. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I retrofit the auxiliary input to the glove box earlier this week, and I had that part of the car apart, and there's moving parts in there in the glove box door, so maybe something got pinched or damaged. But the wiring should be back underneath the carpeting up on the firewall there, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I took the glove box back out, took off the entry sill plate trim, the little corner piece at the A-pillar, bottom of the A-pillar. Everything's totally fine. And then I think, well, you know, maybe there's an issue with the pedals. The wires are kind of behind the pedals. Those are moving parts that are moved every time you drive the car, so maybe something got pinched there. Take down the little carpet trim on the transmission tunnel, the pedal box sealing trim, everything's perfectly fine. Then I go out and pull as much wire out of the front sensor, out of the front, impact strip on the bumper as I possibly can, shine a light in there, stick a magnet or a mirror in there, and I'm able to see that the wiring is damaged back behind the bumper. So initially the thought was I'm gonna have to pull the bumper off, take the fog lights out, pork chops, underbelly pans, things like that to fix the wiring. But thankfully, I was able to reach in there with a kind of a trick tool, cut a zip tie, and then just pull the wiring harness out of the center right sensor and replace or repair a piece of the wire, rather. So there's 3 wires that go to the far right sensor. That's the end of the line, the end of the harness from the trunk. And one of those 3 wires, behind electrical tape, mind you, was really mangled. I mean, exposed copper sticking out everywhere. It's about a 4-inch piece of wire. It looked like mouse damage, but like not mouse damage at the same time. I'm not sure. The other 2 wires in the harness were totally fine. Doesn't look like it was rubbing on anything. It wasn't too tight. There were no tensional forces applied to the wiring. Mice have not been a problem. This car's garaged at home. We've never had mice in the garage. At the shop, it's either inside the shop or maybe out front during the day for a couple of hours. I don't think that's an issue. I looked at the rest of the car, belly pan, engine air filter box, cabin boxes. There's no sign of other rodent damage or nesting materials, but I made the correction, fixed the wires, Alan soldered it, did a nice job, and now it works. So I don't know, it makes no sense. Waste of a couple hours today. Otherwise, at the shop today, Interlagos Blue 2008 M5, absolutely beautiful car, Dyna exhaust, sounds fantastic. And then a bunch of other projects across the board. We've got the tune back for the 03 540 M-Tech. Oil pan's been fixed. The upper oil pan was welded today, aluminum welded, cut new threads in there, resealed, full of oil. We're ready to go there. And we've got kind of a shitty weekend upcoming in San Diego. It's going to be low 60s, high 50s, rain, just nasty, annoying weather. So I have tons of housework and travel plans and cleaning and stuff like that to take care of this weekend, which we will be doing tomorrow. Anyways, bedtime, Naughty Barrel tonight, Laker game, win against the Sixers, and time to get some rest now. Talk on Saturday. Good night.